What Really Happened to Ritchie Valens? Sadly, he was only 17. Although his career included just a handful of recording and concert dates, Ritchie Valens attained a place in music history as the first Latino rock and roll star. With a string of hit singles behind him at the age of 17, the musician's future was tragically cut short. However, when he died in a plane crash along with a group that included Buddy Holly and J.P. Richardson, the Big Bopper. February 3, 1959 became immortalized as the day the music died in rock history. Yet Valens' legend grew after his death with the 1987 biographical film La Bamba, which took its name from Valens' most memorable hit song. He was born as Richard Stephen Valenzuela on May 14, 1941, and grew up in the San Fernando Valley suburb of Pachioma, California. His parents, Joseph Steve and Reyes Valenzuela, were working at a munitions plant at the time of his birth. When he was 3 years old, his parents separated, and young Richard Valenzuela spent the next several years with his father. The elder Valenzuela held a number of different jobs: tree surgeon, miner, and horse trainer among them, and introduced his son to a love of Latin music at an early age. While his father played the guitar, Valens plucked along on a ukulele, later adding the guitar, trumpet, harmonica, and drums to his collection of instruments. His father, Joseph Steve Valenzuela, died from diabetes-related complications in 1951, and his mother moved back into the family home with her new husband and her other children. The family eventually included Ritchie's older half-brother, Robert Morales, younger half-sisters, Connie and Irma Ramirez, and a younger half-brother, Mario Ramirez. Valens' stepfather worked as an agricultural worker, and his mother worked as a waitress and housekeeper, yet money was tight in their household. Ritchie spent much of his adolescent years living with various relatives and as a result attended a number of schools throughout the Los Angeles area while he was growing up. After his stepfather separated from his mother, the family was forced to move into a tiny house in Pachioma in the San Fernando Valley, but keeping up the mortgage payments was a constant struggle. As a student at Pachioma Junior High and later at San Fernando Valley High School, Valens often brought his guitar to play and sing at the lunch hour and after class. Playing with the nine-piece Silhouettes from October of 1957, Valens gained a reputation throughout the region for his guitar work. The Silhouettes played small club dates and school concerts during the winter of 1957 and into the spring of 1958. One date, at the Pachioma Legion Hall on May 2, 1958, led to Valens' big break. There are several versions of the story of Valens' discovery. One version has Valens and his mother renting the Legion Hall for a Silhouettes date in order to raise enough money to pay off the family's mortgage. By chance, a friend of a record company executive saw the show and suggested that his friend audition Valens. Another version has his mother skipping a mortgage payment to rent the hall and have the concert taped as a demo recording to get the interest of a record company. After Bob Keane heard the tape, he went to a talent show where Valens was competing to check out the talented teenager in person. In any event, Valens' performance at the Legion Hall in May of 1958 indeed resulted in an offer to record some tracks for Bob Keane's Delphi label at Gold Star Studios in June of 1958. The resulting single, a Valens composition called Come On, Let's Go, was released the same month and hit number 42 in September on Billboard's Hot 100. On Keane's suggestion, the singer adopted Valens as his professional name over his given surname, Valenzuela. While it was not quite a bona fide top 40 hit, Come On, Let's Go sold over 225,000 copies and led to Valens' first appearance on American Bandstand on October 6, 1958. By that time Valens was in demand for concert appearances across the country and had dropped out of San Fernando Valley High School. Valens' next release was a double-sided single, Donna and La Bamba, a ballad that Valens wrote for his high school girlfriend, Donna Ludwig. Donna was an immediate hit. It earned a Gold Record Award and spent 2 weeks at number 2 on the Hot 100 in January of 1959. The song remains an early rock classic as a teenager in love ballad. The single's flip side, La Bamba, also became a classic of a different sort. Based on a traditional tune popular at Mexican weddings, the lyrics of La Bamba were adapted from the Huapango, which used nonsense lyrics in boastful exchanges among singers. In Valens' rock and roll version, the lyrics featured a drunken sailor insisting that he could dance La Bamba better than anyone else. While the song was not as popular as Donna, it hit the top 30 on the pop charts in February of 1959. One of the few foreign-language pop hits on the American charts, La Bamba was an unusual hit for its era. It was also an unusual choice for Valens to record, as he spoke only rudimentary Spanish and had to learn the lyrics to the song from his mother's relatives. Although he was aware of his Mexican heritage, Valens spoke only a couple of words of Spanish while he was growing up with his father, who was a native of California. Later on, he picked up a few more phrases, but he was never conversant in the language. With 3 hit songs in less than 6 months, Valens appeared on the Alan Freed Christmas Jubilee of Stars in December of 1958. Freed also asked Valens to make a singing appearance of Ooh, My Head in his rock and roll movie Go Johnny Go. Valens then signed up for the Winter Dance Party Tour of the Midwest with Buddy Holly and the Crickets, the Big Bopper, and Dion and the Belmonts for January and February of 1959. The Winter Dance Party series would be Valens' first national tour. Symbolizing his success, the teenager put a $1,000 down payment on a house for his family in Pachioma. Before leaving on the Winter Dance Party tour, Valens entered the Gold Star Studio for a final recording date in early January of 1959. With his first album, Ritchie Valens, slated for release in February of 1959, Valens joined the concert tour as it kicked off in Milwaukee on January 23. After playing a series of dates around the Upper Midwest, the musicians played to about 1,200 fans at the Surf Ballroom at Clear Lake, Iowa, on the night of February 2. Hoping to catch up on some rest, headliner Buddy Holly decided to charter a plane to get to the tour's next gig in Minnesota, while the rest of the group traveled by bus. Valens and Richardson joined him for the flight, which was piloted by 21-year-old Roger Peterson. Disoriented by poor visibility in the darkness, Peterson crashed the plane almost immediately after takeoff. There were no survivors of the February 3 accident. The sudden loss of 3 popular performers stunned music fans. The death of Valens, who was just 17 years old, contributed to the poignancy of the tragic event. The young performer still had the double-sided hit Donna, La Bamba riding high on the charts. In the year after his death 2 more albums, Ritchie and Ritchie Valens in Concert at Pachioma Junior High, were released. Compilations of Valens' work have remained in print continuously. In 1972, Don McLean's song commemorating the event, American Pie, hit number 1 as it recalled the day the music died. Valens' own music lived on, as it was performed by groups ranging from the Ramones to Led Zeppelin. Revived by Los Lobos in 1987, a remake of La Bamba eventually returned to the pop charts as a number 1 single. The song was included on the soundtrack to the film of the same name, which introduced Ritchie Valens to a new generation of music fans as the first Latino rock and roll star. In 2001, Valens was inducted by singer Ricky Martin into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Museum for his contribution to popular music. Rest in peace Ritchie Valens. Goodbye legend.